concerned with puffiness issues around the eyes, hyperpigmentation versus hypo, and then an eye makeup application that will give her eyes a nice pop or a nice definition, but also be easy and non-irritating. So the main culprit that causes eye makeup to be irritating is dye and fragrance and preservatives. And Colorescience is free of all three of those. So if you have issues with eyeshadow, it eliminates that issue. But first, of course, we've got our Core4 prep. So she's concerned about hyperpigmentation. And so what primer do we know is good for hyperpigmentation? It's the Skin Bronzing Primer, which is great for pigmentation or redness, either one. So that's her very first step. And she's going to take that largish amount and just move it with the flat of the fingertips from chin to forehead, up to the eyes, everywhere. This is her working surface. This is her veil that's going to determine how the skin texture looks. And if she wanted, she could detail around the nose, around the mouth, or she could just stop doing it full face and not detail. So primer is first step on top of your regular skincare. Because we know that the primer isn't a replacement for your skincare, it's a barrier that allows your skincare to work better. So she mentioned that hyperpigmentation was an issue for her. So I find that a good combination is your loose foundation first on mature skin, because this will keep it very sheer. And so we'll use the self-dispensing brush, a color called California Girl, and we're meshing it with her primer, going back to those circles. So this is her correct phase. You've done her priming phase. This is correction, which involves any form of foundation or concealer. And then the next unique phase will be our protect phase, which is our loose mineral sunblock, which is a huge signature product for Colorescience that's very unique. So we're giving her that very smooth look, and then our corrector kit allows us to detail where she has concerns. So we'll go back to that detail brush, and we'll hold that up to the face, and we can see that Helen's more in this deeper range, so we'll work with those. And we're just focusing next on the details. So her overall majority of her face is very, very sheer. And that's the best way to distract for where you're doing any kind of coverage, is to really focus on not putting it where you don't need it. It kills the illusion that the skin is bare. Let it be sheer where it can be. So again, we're doing just one side to really give her a feeling of tangible difference. If we do everything and she hasn't seen anything until you're entirely finished, she's not going to value the product specifically as part of the process of getting this result. So crucial that she's seeing the progression. She mentioned under eye darkness was an issue, so we'll slide over to the lighter tones for her under eye shadows, still in that gold and apricot range. Go ahead and look upward for me with your eyes. Blink whenever you want to. We'll take that right up to her lash line. And so her next phase, just do a slow turn for everyone, Helen, so they can see one side versus the other. So her next phase is protect, and Helen has a lot of color in her skin, so we're going to use Sun Forgettable in a deeper shade, and we're going to use the SPF 50. And so when the brush is brand new, you've got that band on it, so that band comes off. And then your sleeve, of course, allows you to customize the shape or the firmness of the brush, just like the retractable brush. And the way you prime your brush is you do a tight circle on the top of the hand or on the knuckles until you see that cloud come off the brush. Until that cloud is coming off, it's not primed. So what we recommend, ideally, is that the technician or the esthetician prime it for the client before they leave. So that way, both have seen that it's working the way it should, and the client's not wondering, what does she do with it when she gets it home? So obviously, the neck is an important area, so we'll start there. We'll do the ears just a bit, and we'll finish tight circles everywhere. And being loose and having an attached brush, she can carry this with her and apply it whenever she needs it. She can use it on her hands, she can use it on her ears, any of those sun-sensitive areas. She can change the shape and make it more of a rounded shape for her lids. And the last phase is to actually set the mineral, which at the same time activates the luminosity and makes it become even more transparent and seemingly not there. And so it's important for a cosmetic purpose. Obviously, it also changes the structure of the particles of mineral, makes them more densely together, so it makes it even more water resistant. So it's improving the performance, and also cosmetically, it's making any mineral that maybe she's seen and doesn't want to see, making it disappear. So just a few shots, hold it about 12 inches, so the skin looks noticeably wet. She mentioned that she was interested in color, simple color. So we're going to show her the Beauty on the Go kit she can use for her eyes, her cheeks, her brows, her lips. We'll start with the kit as eyeliner. So we'll go to the very darkest. You could think of the kit as 1 through 5. So this is number 5, this is espresso color. And we're using a firm, detailed angle brush. And we're going to go back to the mist that we just used to set the mineral and turn this temporarily into a cream liner. Now you look upward for me first. So we'll start on the lower lashes, and we'll just press and rock, press and rock. And this is going to set to what we call a rock solid finish that isn't going to smudge on her, isn't going to smear on her, isn't going to heat up and move around the way a pencil will. So if she's concerned about durability and performance, it's also a great option. We're going to slide up to the champagne tone in that same kit, and we'll use the champagne to brighten the inner corner of her eye. Go ahead and look upward for me again. Blink whenever you want to. So this is our champagne color, and we're just using that to blend, brighten, frame. We'll go up to the upper lash line, back to the espresso. And she's going to push this, go ahead and look downward for me, that's great. She's going to push this into the ridge of her lashes and then slightly onto the lid. And that's going to help give more depth in the center of her eye because she's concerned about her eye looking puffy. So this starts that process. And look straight ahead for me. So she's got that frame that defines the eye. Go ahead and do that slow turn for people again. And then we'll go to a larger, more cylindrical brush, and we'll take a little bit of our Pep Up concentrate. Close your eyes for me again. And we'll prep the lid so that we have therapeutic benefits from the peptides and the hydration, but also we have a magnet for her eyeshadow. It just locks it on. So it's not going to be any kind of spill or dropping. So we'll take the brush and we'll roll it over the bronze. I'm going to have you hold that for me. Thank you. And then your application is also rolling. This is going to mesh your pressed mineral with your primer and be fast and easy and, again, rock solid. So it's given her that nice depth in the center of the eye, which is going up to the top of her crease. And then, of course, we'll go to her ivory, and we'll highlight her brow bone with that. Tilt up just a bit. That's great. Thanks. While we're on her brow bone, we're going to define her brows just a bit. So we'll go back to an angle brush. And she's got obviously some golden tones in her hair. So we want to keep the brow color golden. So we're going to work with the bronze and the ivory together. And this will give us a golden brown tone that won't look harsh or artificially dark. And will work against the hair growth. So the hair picks up the color first. You can do this wet or dry. I find if they have less actual hair density, it's better to use it wet for structure. If they have a lot of actual hair density, it's better to use it dry. So I've given her a nice structured brow. And then the last way she'll use her kit is she'll go back to the very center of the kit and she'll go back to her retractable brush and she'll make it more of that in-between shape, not the very dome shape and not the wide open shape. And she'll mix her champagne and her rose and her bronze to create a neutral, tawny, bronzy, blushy cheek color. And then we'll turn her sideways just a bit, and we'll start on the very back of the cheek, and we'll open the brush wide open, and we'll do very soft circles to create a natural arc and give her that flush on the cheek. So the very last way we'll give her a little bit more color in the very front. And the last way we'll use the kit is we'll go to the rose by itself. And we'll go to the last product in our lip category, which is Lip Shine. Lip Shine is an SPF 35 gloss, and it has an opalescent finish. So it mixes well with anything that has color that maybe you already have and like. You can use it right on top of that. So we're going to combine that with the pressed mineral color. And we know that when you combine moisture and mineral, it takes on the texture of the moisture. So we'll load a dry applicator on the rose generously. We'll mix it with the Lip Shine. Part just a bit for me, Helen. That's great. And we're giving her sun protection as well as sheer concentrated color that's not going to be a color that's too dark or too distinctive that she couldn't wear all the time. So we've shown her products that address her texture and her pigmentation issues, and we've shown her a simple, easy way that she can define her eyes and also her cheeks, her brows, and we'll also do a bit of mascara. The Colorescience mascara is a therapeutic mascara in that the base is a serum of peptides and provitamins that encourage strong, healthy lashes. And look straight ahead for me and down a little bit more. That's great. You can blink whenever you need to. And so if the client's investing in different types of regenerative products for her lashes, obviously she's not going to want to slap on CoverGirl on top of that, which is going to dry her lashes out and work against what she's trying to do. So this gives them great therapy for their lashes, but also it has a great performance quality. It's very humidity and heat and water resistant, and it also thickens and lengthens both. It's a unique tone of black, one that if you compare it to traditional black mascara, it has actually much more warmth. And so it's very wearable by all tones of lashes, regardless of how light they might be. So again, we've done just the one side of her face so that you can see a tangible difference.